Several people have talked about innovation. One of the critical things around innovation and inspiring people to do the work of innovation, the best kept secret in all of our education programs and most of our industries is innovation is really, really hard. It is very difficult. And if you have people coming out of school or graduate school who give up when they run into a problem, we will not have innovation in the United States or anywhere else. The people that we most like to hire are the people who got out of school being given lots of application problems that did not have an answer known and were asked to keep working on it until they came up with one. These are the kind of people you want in industry who, when they run into a tough problem, will keep going and will innovate on that solution. An anecdote around that, I serve on the Applications and Services Patent Committee where I work. 90% of the disclosures we get from employees in other countries and to some extent from people in our countries are patent applications or disclosures that we can go on to Google and find an existing commercial product for. So this tells us that people are thinking they're being innovative just because they have an idea. And they don't even go to Google and check and see if that idea is already in place somewhere. The definition of a patent from the U.S. Patent Office is a novel idea not seen before by someone who is schooled in the art. And schooled in the art is a very, very critical phrase. This means that the individual providing that innovation solution does know that it is a novel solution, does know what the other solutions in that space are, and can describe how it is different and better than other solutions. That's not something that comes out of the blue. That comes out of lots of educated research and is better done by people with graduate degrees. And despite movies like Social Networking, which show Facebook developed in 3 weeks, is really easy to do. I think the last issue is attitude. A lot of people in industry are talking about attitude. I think attitudes that people bring to the workplace are, to some extent, are formed in graduate school and in education, where they're exposed to a diverse population of people, situations, and their ability to work within those situations, work with those people, to collaborate, to solve problems, to come to agreements, are critical skills for the functioning of work teams and solving international engineering issues or business issues worldwide. And I think the extent to which graduate education can support that, it would be very, very useful. Our company provides more than 600 engineering internships a year around the various facilities that we have. We have educational assistants, as almost all companies do, to provide graduate education. I don't think we provide enough money for that, but we do provide some. I think we're far more restrictive on the kinds of graduate education we support now than we used to be. It's a fact of economic life and industry right now. I hope it changes. We also have done some novel pieces that I think other companies have done as well that bring faculty into innovation spaces or laboratories or even engineering areas in companies. We had still have cooperative programs with the Language Institute in Shanghai, China, that helped us with our text-to-speech and speech-to-text and the breakdown of various languages into their phonemes so that we could recreate languages very easily. And their faculty worked in our labs, and their graduate students got internships in our labs and went back and completed their work, getting credit for the work that they did in our labs. So these kinds of partnerships should be enhanced. The extent to which graduate schools can enter into such partnerships on behalf of the university. I won't name the university, but I actually did that on a program on systems availability with the university in Illinois, and it took 21 deans to sign off on the agreement. So I think there's some activity we could do in that space. I'll stop there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Steve?
Well, I'm very pleased to be with you today and very grateful to have been invited. I confess I take a little bit of childish pleasure in standing here for just a minute in front of a bunch of educators. It's kind of an ironic twist in my life. It took me till 52 years of age to get that to happen. But rest assured, I do feel the power of the intellect and the weight of the expectations, so I'll try to move fairly quickly. Just briefly, I think in terms of this panel, you have a couple of people from pretty good-sized companies, 67,000 worldwide employees. I represent distinctly mid-sized company, Consolidated Communications, headquartered just about 10 miles down the road here in Mattoon, Illinois. We have about 1,000 employees, so you get some sense of the differences maybe as I comment a little on some of our needs and so on.
14, Steve.
14, yeah, so you've got small company where lots of job growth happens. You've got mid-sized companies and you've got large companies represented, so we'll be interested in the perspectives that come out in the Q&A. Our company has grown very quickly. At the bottom of the page here, you can just see kind of what the last 4 or 5 years worth of revenue growth have looked like for the company. And part of the reason for that is we've done that through acquisition. And so, you know, unlike maybe a situation where we have a lot of innovation and organic development going on, we've been putting companies together. We are based in Mattoon, Illinois. 400 of our 1,000 are right here within probably 20 miles of where we're sitting today. But we have 400 in the Houston market area, and they have a little different background, culture, expectation, and mindset. And we also have about 200 north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, those having joined us in the case of Texas in 2004 and in the case of Pennsylvania in 2008. In the wireline telecom business, we're the 10th largest, and the two largest ones are really large. It's Verizon and AT&T, who are 2 orders of magnitude larger than we are, and then you go to CenturyTel and Frontier and Windstream. I said we were the 10th largest. We're actually probably 6th or 7th now. There's been some consolidation since I kind of went back and calibrated that. But maybe unique to some other companies and situations, we are not in startup mode. We've been putting companies together and melding cultures and integrating cultures, really focusing on innovation and product growth within our company. But we're in an industry that's very mature, late stage. These companies were all formed 100 years ago. And so the cycles of innovation that other people bring to the party, whether it be technology or process innovation for startup companies, you know, we've got a little bit of that going on in what is a 100-year-old kind of traditional mature industry. And so for us, you know, what we face is a very competitive world where if you're following technology cycles or Moore's Law and you look at what happens to innovation and speed and power and cost in the technologies that enable communication and information processing, the guys who jump on the curve late have a big technology advantage compared to the guys who've been in for a while and kind of made legacy investments. So I tell you that not because I expect you to go away and care a lot, because it affects a little bit how we think about people development and how we think about what it is we need from graduate education. This slide is kind of my view. It's just mine, nobody else's. You can't go find this in a textbook, so you can agree or disagree. But I've been in business for 30 years, and I thought back to how things were when I started my career with regard to people development and how they are today. And when I came to industry, the idea was we didn't have to worry about motivating people. You know, we all kind of wanted to grab the career brass ring. We had a company-funded retirement plan. There was some expectation that you might work for the company with whom you started for your entire career. And so there was very much this culture of we're going to hire talent, we're going to invest in it, we're going to develop the skills that we need, and we're going to make sure that people are moving and getting experiences that they need to be successful in our company long term. The training approach was to train everybody in very basic skills and then a select few in kind of specialized skills. And you contrast that with today, where the motivation of people entering the workforce is different. The contract with businesses is different. There's usually no retirement plan that's funded. There's no expectation, I think, when my children start their careers that they're going to work for one place for 20 or 25 or 30 years. And so the hiring practices of companies like ours is much less toward hiring talent and developing it, and much more because of necessity at hiring mid-career people who bring experience and skills and a performance track record.